Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this Transport Fever 2 series, we're on a mission to deliver every product to every city, building the ultimate transport empire along the way. From trains to trucks, planes to ships. We're optimising every route to make sure no city is left without the goods it needs. So get your cup of tea ready and settle in for another action-packed episode of non-stop logistics. Let's get going. We're going to start out today by fixing a few things that didn't quite turn out the way we wanted them to at the end of the last episode. Now, for those of you that remember, we actually kicked in the machines factory at the end of the last episode, but it's not actually producing at the moment. If we click on it, you can see here it hasn't got the consumer of Frodsham yet. And I've realised after a little bit of investigative work, what's happening is the train, during its journey, we added these new state cars to the back. But what's actually happening at the minute is it's not bringing any steel down. Because what I didn't realise is when we pick these carriages, we go into here and we just edit this train. Okay, these carriages that we added actually pick up anything. So what's been happening is this train's been travelling all the way up to the top of the hill, up here near Lumley. And because there's so much fuel waiting at this station, it's actually just been filling the state cars with fuel and it's leaving behind the steel that's being produced, which is having the knock on then that as much isn't being demanded and it's really slowing it all down. So what I want to do is just before this train does get in, I'm going to pause it here quickly and I want to edit this vehicle. And I want to get rid of these state cars that we have on at the minute. And we are going to go here from 14 down to 8, but it's the only way I've found that will actually make it work. So we'll add a couple more just to allow for that. We'll get those on, and now what we should start seeing is some of that steel getting moved up to there at least. Now, the next thing I wanted to do was add some more trucks to this route here, because this steel route, as you can see here, we've only actually got one coal at the minute. So what we want to do is add a couple more trams to the route here to bring more coal in, but then also to this steel route as well. So we're just going to go through that quickly. I'm not going to make this last too long, but I'm going to add another 3 trams onto there. And then on this route down here, I'm going to add another 3 vehicles there as well. You can see the routes are both making money, so it's not an issue there. Now, hopefully that should get everything working. We'll check back in again before the end of this episode to make sure this is up and running and it's actually delivering. Now, the main thing that I wanted to address now in this episode is I wanted to get another industry running. I was looking here at what we need, so you can see that both Frodsham and Lumley are both in need of goods. And I was thinking, what's going to be the best way to get goods? Now, we've got a goods factory down here by Kingsbridge. Kingsbridge wants machines that were already produced, but it wants food. We don't have food yet. We do have food down here, and I'm hoping we might be able to do something with that by the end of this episode as well. But the quick win that I'm sort of thinking is, because we've already got a train running down here that has the capacity to carry some goods up, what I want to do is get goods produced here at the Hendon Goods Factory. Now, we're already bringing steel down to the bottom here to be used for machines. We're already delivering oil to make plastic, and this plastic route then comes back to the cargo hub. So if we set a route up that takes plastic and steel from the hub here up to the goods factory and then brings goods back, we should be able to chuck goods on that cargo train up to here and then deliver them to Lumley and Frodsham. So that's what we're going to start out by doing. So what I want to start with then is a truck stop. Now if we set up a truck stop here, we'll try one of these new ones. 2,400. We only need something small here really, don't we? If we go 48 and we choose how many platforms here, we don't need that. We'll go for country. I mean, we're in 1930, so if we go for country new, and we connect this in. I've not actually used this before, so I want to see what it looks like. We'll stick that there, and then we'll do a little bit of smoothing just around the edges to make it fit in a little bit nicer. I really don't like the sharp edges when they kick in. I'm hoping now if I go into here and I delete the back off this, I can't actually, but we'll see what it does with just the one entrance. Hopefully it'll allow me to do it, but I wanted to try something different with the truck stop. So if we go to set up a route here, and we'll press double 1 on the numpad to get rid of that, we want to start off down at this main cargo hub, and we want to tell it here as we always do. Absolutely any platform, whichever one's available, come in and use it, just to keep things flowing. What I want to do in the first time round, we'll say load on plastic. Okay, and we'll just unload on goods. Okay, cool. Now, then we want to go up to Hendon North here, and here we want to load up on goods and we want to unload the plastic. Now I can't tell it how much here because it might not just have enough, if you know what I mean. So the next time it's going to come back down, then we're going to jump in here and we're going to tell it to this time to load steel and unload its goods, and then it's going to go back up again to Hendon North, where it's going to load on goods and it's going to unload its steel. So just to run through that, Padstow East at the start, it's going to pick up plastic, then it's going to drop off plastic and pick up goods, then it's going to drop off the goods, pick up steel, and then it's going to drop off the steel. We nearly had an issue there. Drop off the steel, pick up the goods, and then it will come back round to Padstow East where it will drop that off. Perfect. Okay. So what we need to call this now then is RF for road freight, and this is going to be Hendon goods. Now I'm hoping we stick a few vehicles on there. This should be fine from this vehicle depot here. I'm going to go... Should we go straight in for 15 here? Mind you, we want to space them out a little bit. We'll go for 10. And then we want Hendon goods. Now I'm hoping we have everything in there. So what should happen now is we should start to see from this steel mill, we should get a consumer in of the Hendon goods factory. Now I did think about just running a quick line down from here, because we're making steel. This line's pretty much been made redundant. The original line that we put in, I mean, it's been making us a lot of money, but it's not really anywhere near the cargo hub. It makes sense here because we're making the plastic down here anyway. Just get delivered. Now you can see here we've got some plastic on the line, so we must have the consumer. We have. So does that mean it's kicked in from the steel mill as well? It does. Perfect. And then does the goods factory know where it's delivering? So it's got consumers. It hasn't yet, but that should come when, as long as we've got the things on here, capability on here. I do just want to check that actually. Let's just make sure that these box cars, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the box cars can carry goods. Okay, perfect. So we've got those on the train. Now what I want to do is double track this route and get a second cargo train because of how much stuff we've got here. So I'll stick it just to play mode for now. And I think we're going to go for the normal speed track here so it can get the best out of it that it can. And we'll drag this all the way around and down to here. I'm just thinking which side is going to be the best actually. The inside track actually works quite well here for that. So if we pull that down, where's the second track? There it is. Ooh, it doesn't like that. It's freezing a little bit there. There's no doubt that later down the line when we have you know, an unstoppable amount of money, and it absolutely isn't an issue, we'll probably come back and revisit this line and make some upgrades to it. But then we want to head all the way down here. I don't want catenary. Have I just put it on all the west bit so far? I bet I have. Yeah, we'll get rid of catenary for now. Not interested in that. Cool. And then while I'm up here, I will just stick a cross in as well. I'll do it a little bit out actually, because I'm not sure how long these trains are going to be that we're kicking off with. So down at this bottom end now, we do need to add a second platform on this train station as well. So we'll go into here, and we want to find the normal track. Is it near the end? It is. Perfect. And then I'm going to preempt what will come eventually. Stick another cargo platform on this side. Because if we do get any other lines coming in, they're going to need their own platform as well, aren't they? Now we should be able to get this guy in, and then again, just sort of outside the station, leave a little bit of room for an overhang. Then we can cross over there. Perfect. Okay, so now what I want to do is have a look at signals. Now, I've got a feeling that we don't have any signals just yet. I think we'll go for these. We'll go for auto sig. And I'm not sure exactly what the spacing is supposed to be. You guys can probably let me know on this. I'm never too sure what should be the case. I think I want to go up on the left, being truly British. I always just think up on the left. Up on the left, that should take us all the way up, really. Or it takes us up to here. Okay, so then if we want to come back down on that side, that should do it. And then we're just going to want a couple before the crossovers, aren't we? So we want one before here, and then we're going to want one down at the other end of here. So we're going to be coming down here on the left-hand side, so we'll want our train, if it needs to stop just before this crossover. There. That should give us the route exactly how we want it. It has that side, and then let's just check at the other end here. Perfect. So then, we're going to want to manage this vehicle. Now, I'm not sure what to do with this. Do we clone this, or do we build a new one? We've got 445 on the structure. I'll tell you what, let's see what else we can get. I'd like to have a little bit of variation if we can, but nothing that's going to, be a lot faster or slower. I mean, this one, I think, tops out at, let's have a look. So we're currently topping out at 50. What else have we got down here? 62, 31. We've got another 50 mile per hour here, the FS 74418. It's an Italian locomotive. That's got 1030 kilowatts of power and 145 kilonewtons of tractive effort. So let's just compare that to what we've got currently. So up here, 148 and 1100. It's not too dissimilar, actually. It'd be a good one to put in. Maybe we go with that. Let's give that a go. And then we had tank cars times 4, wasn't it? Times 4, 4 box cars, and we had 4 estate cars. And then we'll stick that on the cargo train run. It's 4, 4. Our train 2's actually got 5 of those. We want to edit that and add 1 extra. And we actually did that without needing to loan any money, so that means we must be making a considerable amount now, actually. So yeah, it's the Hendon ore line's actually keeping us propped up still. That's crazy. Lumley Crude Oil's making us 700,000 a year. So the money is absolutely rolling in. So now we've got here machines waiting on the line. Perfect. So that tells me that this machines factory has actually kicked in, and it has seen Frodsham as a delivery route. Perfect. That is absolutely fantastic. So that's going to head down that way now. We'll eventually start seeing the Frodsham. But what I may have to do... I'm just thinking now, because goods are going to start arriving, and I'm pretty sure on this route, I told it at Upper Lumley to only pick up machines, didn't I? Did. I think I'm going to tell this to just load anything. Just so that it will pick up the goods as well. Because it isn't going to bring anything else this way, because it's going to have a drop off. And then as long as Frodsham sidings here, as long as the drop off point here at Frodsham sidings says to unload nothing, yeah, it should be fine. Perfect. Okay, so that will work for me. And it should also say, actually, I'll just double check that. It should actually say as well that up at Lumley, it's only going to unload coal. Yeah, so it can pick anything up and take it, but it can't drop it off anywhere other than that truck station. I think. I'm a little bit all over the place with this app. I want to make sure this is right. So at Albert Road, yes, it can unload absolutely anything. Cool. And then we'll just double check that as well before it's too late on this Lumley deliveries line. So in here, this line, at Upper Lumley, which is the main cargo hub, so that can load anything and it can drop anything off. Perfect. And at the Grove, it can unload anything. So that will work. What I might do just in anticipation is there's only 2 trucks on that line. I'll add another 2 on there. We've got the money for it, and we're only currently getting 18 of the fuel row. We've got any waiting here, Lumley delivery, so it is actually seeing that off at the minute. Now, I was hoping that we'd have a bit of time. That should all be set up and running now. We should start seeing the first trucks going out here. What are these guys bringing with them? Nothing on the first run. Have we had any materials delivered at all yet? We haven't, but there's some waiting here, and there's some waiting here now for Hendon North. Perfect. We don't have the steel yet. Over at this steel mill now. Hendon Goods Factory. So it is there and they are getting collected. So that should all run now. So the next thing I wanted to do is have a look at getting this food. As we mentioned at the start of the episode, Kingsbridge here wants machines and food. And we're already producing machines and getting them down to the cargo hub here. So if we can get some food down to the line, down to this end, we could also be bringing that down to Kingsbridge. And at the minute, we've got the train running up with the goods wagons, if you like, with the tools and the goods coming up here, but there's nothing going back. And food can actually go in those goods containers. So if we can make food here, I think that's going to be a really good way to go about it. So We pick here. Have we got any other kinds of truck stops? I don't think we have. Truck stops are something that I've struggled to find a good selection of. Actually, we'll delete that one on the workshop. I don't know if you guys know of any really good ones, then please do let me know, because I am struggling to find any that I really like the look of. So we'll go for this one here, and then we want to get this dropped off. If we go into the rail stations, what have we got rail station wise? We've got a factory freight station, one rail with two truck stops. That might work for us if we connect this in. So which way out do the rails come from this? So it is on this side. Perfect. If we can turn this around, can we get that to connect in? Can actually, but then it deletes itself. Ah, there we go. Hold C again. So I don't know how this is going to react in terms of a truck stop, but I guess we'll see if we get it all connected up. So if we just set up that as a route for the minute, and we go from over at the grain factory here, and we just say full load over there, and then it comes over here to drop off, and I want to make sure it is only unloading over here. This will be then RF for road freight, and it will be Prestwick grain. I think we'll just give that a nice sort of yellow colour for grain. We're going to need some vehicles on that. I am going to stick a vehicle depot down here, I think, because I think over time we're probably going to end up adding quite a few vehicles to this line, so it just sort of makes sense. For now, we want something that can carry grain. It's going to have to be the all-cargo wagon. I really can't wait until we get something a little bit different in terms of trucks. But again, there's not a lot of trucks in this early 1900s, which makes me think, have I unpaused the time? I haven't. We'll get that going again. We'll stick that on 2 times speed, because we've had it unpaused. So that is now working. I do just want to see where these drop off. Let me go on 3 times speed just a second to see what happens here. I've never actually used this train station over here, but I think it looks really good. But I'm unsure as to whether when this truck gets over here, where is it actually going to drop off? It looks like the ticker symbol, if you like, or this little sign here is inside this factory. So I don't know where he's actually going to drop it off when they get here. It'd be interesting whether he just turns around here. Maybe it's this platform here. That looks like an unloading platform, doesn't it? Maybe one of these two. But here they come, so let's just have a look at where he drops this off. Ah, it's on the side there. That's actually really cool, and that's dropping it off there. Okay, perfect. Now what I need to do is, we've got that train line set up, we need to add a platform over here. So we go to, we want normal track again here. And I'm just going to have a sort of smaller train, a half platform here if you like. Now it can share that platform for the cargo. We go to tracks, and then we want to sort of drag this out. We're heading sort of towards the wheat symbol, so come to the left a little bit. We can keep this flat most of the way. We'll try and sort of dodge around this forest as much as we can. There we go, that works out quite nicely. We want to swing in probably from about here. That should give us a nice smooth bend in. It does. Looks like we've actually just got a little bit of a hill here, but it's not too aggressive. I don't mind that so much. We are going to need train though. Do we just put a link across and get a train from down the bottom? I think that'd be the clever thing to do here. We just put a link over there. And we shouldn't need anything else here actually. No, we won't. So now I need to get a train. We'll go from down at the bottom end here. I do just want to make sure down here I click the right hand side. Ah, we connected them both anyway, that's fine. So what kind of train are we going to need? Well, to start with cargo, we're going to need this wheat, aren't we? I don't think any of these guys will carry wheat. You don't. So we're going to go gondolas. No, we're not. We need to carry food, don't we? So we want these box cars. If we were to say 40, and we only want something really small here, some kind of small shunter, that's not bad actually. It's got a top speed of 31, but it's a very flat track. Quite like the look of that. It says it's still good rating. The only problem I've got with this is it might struggle to make it up the hill. So we want to go from here, where I am going to tell that actually to always wait for a full load. For those of you that don't know here, guys, we'll unload there as well. We don't want to unload anything, sorry. For those of you that don't know, if you set it to full load, so it is waiting in the station, it actually uses less money and running costs. We want it to load up on nothing on the way back there, we just want it to unload. Perfect. That's going to be then the TF train freight. That's going to be Presswick food. And then we'll colour that a nice orange colour. Yeah, so as trains are running, you'll see usually, I have them turned off because they get on my nerves, but if you see when you turn on the costs of things, you'll see the red numbers rising from the vehicles for how much they're costing to run. Now, I always try and get rid of that, excuse me, because I just don't like looking at it all the time. That train just left. Where is it? Where's that new train? Ah, it's just down here. Cool, let's have a look at this. That does actually look really cool, doesn't it? I like the fact that these headlights are orange as well. There's quite a few mods I've found that I really like the look of the mods, but the headlights tend to be really bright on some of them, and I don't understand why it's like that. I think it'd be cool to have an option for lights if that's going to be the case. You can see some steel being delivered there. Now, what's probably going to happen here is this guy's going to catch up behind us. We'll stick this on 3 times speed to get up the hill, but I think he's going to really struggle to make it up this hill. It might have been a better idea for me to have had the train depot at the top of the hill in hindsight, but hindsight is a wonderful thing, and as long as we can make it up the hill this first time, hopefully if we do come to upgrade this in the future, it'll be a much more powerful train. You can see the steam catching us up here. We're getting chased down. But we'll check on that again in a second. I do want to just see if both of these trains are running at a profit as well, because now we've added 2. So this one isn't yet, but we'll see what happens when he drops off here, because this might be the first full run he's had. There's actually only some tools waiting here, which makes me worry a little bit. So what have we got here? We've actually got 251 logs here, so we need to add some more vehicles here. We need to add a lot more vehicles, so we can get the planks being produced. How are we looking for everything else? Everything else seems to be managing really a little bit. Over here now, are we producing? We still can't see what's going on in terms of taking anything back, but maybe that's because we haven't received any steel yet. These guys are all on the plastics run. Do we have any steel here waiting for that line? And enough, we do. So they are going to start getting produced now, which is good. Right guys, so I've just spun it forward just for about 5 minutes or so, and the first truck just drops off some steel, he's leaving there. And you can see it's kicked both of these in. But what I did realise is, we didn't have a ride on the new train. Find out which one that is. It's not train 2, it should be train 3. So where is train 3? Let's have a look. I forgot to show you when we added the new train what it looks like. And this, we can get out from behind the trees here. That is a cracking looking train, isn't it? Let's have a pause and have a look at this one. Again, decent headlights as well. They're not too bright, but that looks like a real powerful train, doesn't it? I'm surprised it does only do 50 miles per hour, this, to be fair. But then I guess it's very, very heavy, isn't it? But that looks fantastic. Happy to have that on the rails. Now, the other thing we wanted to do is now we've set food up, and food can now be bought up here. We've got nowhere to deliver that food yet, so we need to set up the route down into Kingsbridge. So what we are going to need is a delivery point in Kingsbridge. So we'll go for a medium truck unloading point, should be fine. We want to be able to drop off both. Well, actually, I'll tell you what we could do in it. We could set up a proper distribution hub here in Kingsbridge. We're going to delete half of the customers though if we stick it in there. I don't want to go there just yet. Let's spin it around and then turn a hold C so it doesn't avoid the snap. If we go here, is that covering everyone? It is, but it's doing something really nasty to the town, isn't it? I don't really like that. I'll tell you what, if we come up to here, we put it just at the side of the road here, that covers everybody as well. We'll go for that and we'll just upgrade the streets. We don't need a bus lane, but we do want medium street. And then it'll just loop around there and back out of town. The other thing I did in between, guys, I went round and I upgraded all of the highways that we're going to be needing and the ones that we are already using just on this side of the map. I've upgraded them to the new 50 miles per hour road. I'll do it off camera at the end over the other side, just because the current maximum speed was 25 miles per hour. So as soon as we upgrade trucks, we're going to be hitting that. So right, we need a new line. Double one. That white is too bright. So then over here, we're going to go to Padstow East and we're going to add in, as always, every single possible platform. So ideally here, we're going to be picking up machines and food, and they'll get dropped off here. And that is going to be RF for road freight. And it's going to be Kingsbridge deliveries. Now actually they're going to be getting back empty, aren't they? But we need crude up there, so maybe we pick up some crude on the way past. That's probably not the worst idea I've ever had, is it? What have we got? Have we got any cool little delivery slots? I don't think we have it. It'd have to be one of these. Maybe we just go with a standard. Put it at the side of the road. Sort of here. Let's see if we can make that join in. Quite a drop, that, isn't it, actually? Why is that coming in so low down? Oh, I didn't mean to put that second one down, did I? But if we try and connect this one in now, how does that look? It's a bit more of a gentler curve. I think that's probably the best we're going to get it. We are going to need to add a second street connection on the end there. And then if we can make that attach quite nicely. I mean, they're going to be slow pulling out of here, so that should be fine. So now on this Kingsbridge deliveries, if we, after Stanley Road, we tell it to come here and pick up some crude, it's just going to take that all the way up, isn't it? I hope. As long as that's connected. It's not. Right, pause. Of course it isn't. Right, so we need to make sure that that is in range. If we go see, it needs to connect to this road here, which isn't too much of a problem. If we kick it in there, and then we add the second street connection. And then we connect the road in. Hopefully that'll do it now. It will, and then we'll just upgrade this piece of road here as well. I'll just have to turn in and do it. Has that picked up the other route? It has. And now as soon as we put vehicles onto that route, what can this guy carry? Food, machines. Oh, but it can't do oil. We've just got a new truck and I can't use it. Oh, right. We'll just go for, I think, 5 on this line for now, just to keep it relatively short. That should be connected. It is. Sweet. So now if we start running that, it should start to see some demand there. And also the machines factory should pick up that we can deliver to Kingsbridge as soon as that route starts going. It should ramp up. We've got goods now, as you can see. Hopefully some of these guys are going to pick up on goods. He hasn't done yet. Padstow East. See, it's separating it between the two routes as well, which is never ideal, really. I'm not really sure, guys. Let me know if it makes a difference. How we've got these doing a loop. You see how we've set this up? So it's 2 trips, basically. One time it brings plastic, one time it brings steel. Does that matter? Or will it do 50-50? What I didn't want it doing is having a stockpile of plastic and a stockpile of steel and only bringing plastic. I'm not really sure how the mechanics work and what it would do in that situation. That's why I've done it as 2 separate routes. So just let me know if you think there's a better way of doing that. So here we go. We can see that crude started appearing now, which means it knows about this route. So has it also got Kingsbridge down here? Or has it got Kingsbridge for food? It has got Kingsbridge for food, so it knows that that route's good. Okay, perfect. So this train should start getting some service now as well. This station's really cool, isn't it? I like it. Tell you what, guys, we've done a lot in this episode, haven't we? 2 new trains. We've doubled up the cargo hub. We've got goods involved. We've got food involved. We've connected another town. We've just instantly connected Kingsbridge with both of the cargo needs that it wants. We should already have fuel and tools into Prestwick. We're now getting goods. Well, we've got the ability to get goods into Lumley. We just need to increase the demand, and same with Frodsham, we can get goods here as well. Hopefully over this goods factory we can see both. We can, Lumley and Frodsham, so they are on the way. So these two towns have both now got everything they need. Prestwick's got everything it needs. Kingsbridge has got everything it needs. Padstow has got everything that it needs. So now we're looking at Middleham. Middleham needs goods. We're already getting goods down to this train station. So in the next episode, guys, I'm not sure where to go. Do we connect Middleham with their own little branch line, sort of like we did with the food, but we can maybe bring construction materials back to the main cargo hub on a train, but then bring goods back, and it's just started demanding fuel, as I've said that. Look, it must be at 350 people. So we need a cargo train coming up here bringing fuel as well. So we could bring fuel and goods up and then take some bricks back. We could do that with that new state car we were using, that can carry anything. We could have a train with one of those that can bring construction materials back and then bring up 50-50 goods and fuel. It's just dropped below again. It looks like we're pittering around that 350. Anyway, guys, that is where we're going to call it for this episode. Thanks a lot for joining me as always. It does show me on the statistics that only sort of about 20% of you are actually subscribed to the channel that watch the video, so please do just hit that subscribe button for me. It's completely free and it helps me out a load. Not only does it send the video to more people, but it also just means for me I can see who's watching it, which bits you're enjoying, and all the analytics come through. It makes it a much easier process for me. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you've got any tips or tricks or any ways that you've seen during this episode that I could improve what's going on here, please do let me know. Other than that, guys, as always, thanks a lot for joining me, and I will catch you all in the next video.